Barbadian society, for the most part, is an unforgiving society, and we tend to hold on to who people are or the things that they would have done. We don't see people for who they are now, the changes that they have made, and the progress that how they're progressing, or the changes that they're looking to do. But it's not a good feeling, and you often hear it from the clients in terms of they often refer to them as a paro, or they often look at the victim as the person who's responsible. Oh, you're responsible for the situation that you're in. You should know better. You should have gotten yourself out of that situation. But it's not in every instance that that person knows better, or that person is in a situation to do better. So I think that our society really needs to reframe how we interact with these people, because it really does more harm than good. My name is Jalise Clarke. I am the Assistant Shelter Manager and the Social Worker.
Kemar Saffrey, President of the Barbados Alliance, End Homelessness. We got a lot of stories, and when I say stories, I'm not talking from an angle that is like a story time, but we have a lot of testimonies to share as it relates to people that would have gone through it. I had a particular guy when I first started the program, and he was a guard, and he stopped a robbery from within the establishment that he was in. And the person that did the robbery was held and promised that when you get free, he gonna, basically kill you. But this guy came and, he tormented him for a period of time. And one night after the shift, he hit him on his head with a piece of 2x4 and left her with a big lump out of his head. And this guy lost his job, because he was catching seizures on the job after being violently attacked by this particular guy. But society has a way of turning their back on you quickly, and everything went downhill for him after being violently attacked. And he was on the street for a couple of years till he met me, and I was able to put him into the shelter, give him the particular care and services that he needed, and help him get back into mainstream society. Graduated probably about a year and a half after being in the program. And to this day, he's still on his feet. This was probably like 10 years later, he's on his feet. He's still doing what he has to do and still functioning in everyday society. The shelter in itself is a rehabilitation, reintegration center. We like to look at it that way because at the end of the day, we look at all of our clients as, transients, and we want to be able to transition them back into mainstream society through the various programs and the services that we offer here at the shelter. We are also a 24-hour shelter. We serve men, women, and also children that often come along with the parents. And we are able then, through our number of services and our programs, to offer them reintegration and rehabilitative programs to help them back into mainstream society. And in our position, we see how people treat the homeless persons, where they oftentimes believe that because the person is homeless, it's something like a disease. They can't work, they can't eat, they can't have cell phones, they can't this, they can't that. And we see it the same way with persons that have been violently abused. That oftentimes society looks at it and say, okay, it's your fault. If you wasn't there, you won't get treated. You should have left here every since. And where society doesn't understand, because there's only a percentage of your population that understands anything, and a percentage of your population that have been through anything. So oftentimes the population, the loudest of the population that are talking is a part of the population that have not been through anything. So they're just better at voicing their opinion, which then affects the person that has gone through it. So society in itself could be real damaged in terms of even the person receiving further care. It could be a situation where, let's use this as an example, a guy went to prison, served his time, come out looking for a job, the carry certificate of care, and they say, oh, you're the crook. The person said, well, I served my time, I want to make a change in society. But you're damned. And that goes the same way with people that have been violently affected. Oh, I hear you was in this shelter, and here you was there, so you must be the problem. So that is something what we are seeing as it relates to how people portray and look at people that have been affected with violence. Oftentimes when I look at community, if you're talking about community where you come from, I think sometimes that is where the problem lies. Because those are closest to us, it hurts us most than those away from us. The community that I think that when I look at community helping and playing a role is a community that is fostered around you that can help you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that family member. It doesn't necessarily have to be the community which you come from, but this new community, whether you find help from an organization like this, that has professional people, that have people that this is their day to day in terms of rehabilitating or reintegrating. I think that is the best community that you can have, rather than a familiar community that may be the reason you're gone are the days where people are saying a community raised a child. Those are not really prevalent in our everyday lives anymore. The community that you build around you is a community that is going to help foster you.
The main things is the psychological and the social support. So what we have found is that, so I don't do the psychological support, that is more for the clinical psychologists that we have or the other psychologists that we do have on staff. So then in terms of social support, the clients just need to know that there's someone there for them. Being able to recognize the triggers for the clients, being there for them so that they can have someone to speak to, just being a safe space for the clients. In terms of the impact of violence on the clients, from the individual perspective, you see it in their behaviors. So especially sometimes you need to be mindful. I remember a time I was in a session with a client and one of my coworkers would have said to them, what is the Bajan terminology? Peter pay for Paul and Paul pay for all. And immediately that client got so offended because that was a trigger for them. So that brought the client back to an instance where they basically got beaten. So the one thing that I would change is how society view the victims, because we need to be mindful that they are victims in this situation. As much as a person may be in a situation, the person may not understand the complexities of that situation. So sometimes it's quite difficult getting that individual to understand the situation that they're in and the complexities, as I said. And then, because obviously they're in denial. So I'd say one of the things are denial and the other one would be acceptance. And then when they do accept that that's the situation that they're in, then how do we reframe that person? What are the programs that we need to put in place? What are the counseling sessions that we need to go through? What are the things that we need to get this person from point A to point B? Because now they have the realization, well, yes, I am in this difficult situation. Where do I go from here? Who do I turn to? It takes a lot of reframing. And again, it takes acceptance. So they need to first accept, because again, people are in denial. They're often wondering, why me? Why am I in this situation? So it takes a lot for us to first get them to accept the situation that you're in. This is where you're at, but this is not where we want you to stay, and this is not where you will be in the future. So it's about getting them to reframing how they see themselves and where they want to see themselves. And once we can determine that, full steam ahead.
I will go as far as again to add one more, where there was a case of a female that we had, and this female was in this particular position where she was being abused constantly by the children's father, and there was no organization to help her at the time. Based on what she was saying, she would have tried reaching out. She came here, we said, well, we don't really deal with women with domestic abuse cases. But she said, listen, you do her, anything you can do, I would appreciate it. We help her. It was some children that came along. I think it was about 3 children that came with her at the time. And we were able to work with her after being abused by the father for so much. This included rape, this included physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse. And she was a hard case to deal with, because when we dealt with her, she was lashing out at us. And like if we were the one that did it. And we understood her position, and this is a case that went on for like 5 or 6 years. So it's not a case of overnight. But when she finally got out, we were able to work with her through our programs here, have her in the shelter for I think she was in the shelter for just over 9 months. And we were able to help her and her children to be able to get a job, get back on her feet, get the welfare to assist her with a housing solution, pay the rent. And to this day, I can say successfully, she's better, she's working, she has another child, but she is, out of this situation, have gone to church, turn her life around, give her life to Christ, and is functioning in today's society, and I think that is a testament of the fact that once persons are willing and would have gone through these violence episodes, we can help as an organization, we will help.
I'd say that is different for every person. In that, if it's a mother, sometimes the strength may be in the kids. Strength may be in knowing that I can't let down my children, knowing that I have to do for them. Sometimes it could be the individual. If it's for the individual themselves, is that I've been in this situation for too long. I want to see a change for myself. I want to do better. Sometimes it could just be a passing word from someone. Sometimes it's so different. That's the thing. So the motivation to keep going is so different for everyone. But for our organization, that's where me and my team come in. So we're here for the clients. We want them to know that we're here to support them throughout every step of the way. We make sure that they know that we're here for them. We provide all the services that we do because we want them to know that if you go outside and there's no one there at all, we're here for you. We got your back. So the average day varies, again, depending on client to client. So for some of our clients, the average day may be waking up on the roll call. These are for the working clients, getting up, having a shower, having breakfast, getting ready, going to work, coming back in, having dinner, going to bed. And then for some of our programs, same thing, roll call on the morning. They get up. Some of them have cleaning duties because we do want them to have a sense of responsibility and know that when they get out on their own, that they're able and they can do these things on their own. So cleaning duties, then breakfast, have a shower, and then the day begins, which could include counseling. It could include setting goals with me and my team. And then there's a bunch of sessions. There could be TV time, sustainable farming, there could be grooming that's going on, there could be anger management, there could be drug education. So it's a lot of sessions throughout the day. And again, it's tailored to each client. So depending on what that client needs, then we provide the services based on the needs of the client.
I think if I had to look at anything that people as a society, to change their mindset about anything or anyone, is to, the famous quote is always to put yourself in somebody's position. But in some cases, you can't put yourself in the position. Is to say, what if it was me? Put yourself in the position from that angle. What if it was me? What help would I need? What help would I need? Would I need the same community? Would I need the same homeless shelter? Would I need the same foster care system? Would I need the same police? What if it was me? What would I need? And then ask yourself, what would I need? But also, if I get there, would you want the people help? Because you could get there, but if you don't want the help, that's a different story. But when I get there, would I want the help? And then, if you do receive the help, you could go on to be somebody great, because everything about you is just changing. So I always want people to look at the position, because the persons that we help could be somebody. I often make the comparison, most of the billionaires were all dropped out from school. They didn't do good, but they became billionaires. Most of the Hollywood actors that we see today, that we watch on TV, those Hollywood actors, most of them were homeless. But they went on to be great. So the same way, the people that we help in Barbados, we don't know if it's the next Rihanna, we don't know if it's the next Rupi, we don't know if it's the next Alison Knight, we don't know if it's the next Overdale Thompson, you don't know. But the mere fact that we are changing that person's life, or anyone could change that person's life, if you, the public, give them that chance to be able to make the change and to reintegrate back into mainstream society as people that have gone through violence and homelessness, you don't know who you are changing, you don't know who you're bringing to the forefront. Our motto here is we will rebuild your self-esteem. And we've tailored programs from meeting with the social worker, to meeting with the client relations team, to meeting with the psychologists, the counselors, and we look at tailoring the program or the services around what needs to be done for you. And it's not they have this saying, the one size shoe fit all. We don't take that approach here. Every person that come here is going to have experienced something different in life. And we are privileged here to have the different program, the different people that will help tailor the program towards you to basically get you back into mainstream society. And I think what that does is bring a unique touch than to say, okay, I have this here and everybody coming here got adapt to this and go through this. And I think that is where it feels. But we look at the client and tell ourselves that this particular client needs to have this care and provide it. And that has been the success of this organization.
And I tell my colleagues all the time, there's no greater feeling than seeing a client, let's say, self-sufficient to the point you knew that you met this person, let's say 6 months ago, and this is the person who presented themselves to me. And in 6 months down the line, this is somebody completely different. This person has entirely changed. You see the change talk from the person, you see the positive behaviors. This person is resilient. This person gets up every day and decides this is the road that I want to go down. They're now in a better position in life. So that's the positive.